Hey everybody, welcome. It is Paul from Pack Eye Productions coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Today we're going to do part 3 of our up close and detailed look at coin ring making. And today we're going to look at the Swedish Wrap. I think you're going to really enjoy it. It is a great tool to get you to that fine point you need to be to put the perfect finish on your ring. So, without further ado, let's get right to it.
To start the Swedish Wrap, you'll need a few things. Of course, a ring that needs it, some sort of protective barrier, such as thread tape or a paper towel, and a Swedish Wrap die set. There are a lot out there to choose from. Pick your favorite. You'll also need pushers to push the coin through the die. They make them in all sorts of varieties, from brass to PVC to Delrin. I like this Blue Monster PTFE thread tape. It comes in these giant rolls and it's really thick and protects the coins perfectly. I love this stuff. Far better than standard pipe tape. Early in the process, the reeded edge is going to get most of the attention inside the die. I hook the coin on my thumb and start wrapping with the tape. I pay special attention to the reeded edge, as that's where all the contact is going to be made. Later, I'll make sure to balance it out a little bit better. About 7 to 10 wraps is enough. I always make sure I have enough to cover the reeds so they won't be damaged by the pusher. I'm always careful to fold the tape over the top of the coin. I prefer these Delrin pushers by Neil Pippett. As you can see, I've pre-marked them to know how far they go in before they bottom out. These never fail me and never damage my ring. You'll notice they're two-sided, so they have 2 marks on them. I start by lining up the edge of the pusher with the edge of the ring and making sure that it's a good fit. I want to be able to push the ring down a bit, but I also don't want to have it bottom out too early. This is about right, so I can put the coin inside the die. The thread tape makes the coin a little bit bigger, and so I always use a slightly bigger pusher just to square it up inside the die. Then I take the pusher that I'm actually going to use and I center it very carefully. If it's off center, it can pop off the edge of the coin and destroy your project. Notice here the equal distance between the walls of the die and the walls of the pusher. This is what you're looking for. Now that I have everything set up, it's time to go to the press for the first push down into the die. Some dies are small and one push will take it all the way through. Mine is a big die and I can vary what I want to do with it. Of course, my dies are from Jason's works, and again, you can find his stuff on his Etsy store. Notice where the pusher and the coin meet. The thread is cut off neatly. And now I'll peel the tape off from the coin and admire my first push. Now I'll prepare for the second one. As this coin wasn't pushed down through the die very far, I'm going to skip annealing here. But don't forget it completely. It's important that you anneal constantly throughout this process. Again, I'll wrap with the tape, about 7 to 10 wraps, And again, in this case, it's still early on, so I'll pay extra attention to the edge. Clean everything up and fold the tape over the reeded edge. Now I'll drop it into the die. I'll use the bigger side to square the coin up. Then I'll flip the pusher over and get it lined up and be ready for my next push. It's crucial that you remain aware of where the ring is inside of your die. You don't want to bottom out. You also want to make sure you pay attention to the reference marks on your pushers so you don't destroy them inside the die, or worse yet, destroy the die. With the Blue Monster tape, you can see it change colors where it's being compressed by the die. It almost becomes sort of like a solid layer of plastic, and very hard, and it protects the ring perfectly. Now that I'm so far down in the die, I'll have to pay more attention to wrapping it thoroughly. It's also a good time to go in and kneel. I finished annealing and it's back to wrapping the coin. Because I'm so far down into the die now, it's important that I pay attention and wrap the coin evenly. To make sure I do wrap the coin evenly, I'll give it a couple extra wraps just to make sure I don't miss any areas. If you look here, you can see that the pusher is going to take the ring right to the very bottom of the die. So I need to pay attention to this. The next pass after this, I'll go all the way through. Here, because I know I'm close to the bottom of the die, I will press slowly and make sure I don't bottom out. Here you get a great view of how the Blue Monster tape changes colors as more and more pressure is applied to it. You can see I'm getting pressure applied to almost the entire side of the ring. Unwrapped, you can see the ring is really starting to take shape. It's still a little bit cone-shaped, but that's going to go away. This is a good time to check my size. Remember, we're looking to be about 2 sizes above the target size so that I have room to put a bulge or fat tire into the ring. Now I know where I stand. I've made the decision I will push the ring all the way out through the bottom of the die. You can see here that the next pusher is going to take the ring right out the bottom. So I need something to keep the die up in the air. I'm using a thing called a ring bearer. This will hold the die up in the air and leave room for the ring to drop out. You can see that the pusher is going to go too far down into the die, so I need something to help me push it all the way. I'll take another pusher and stack it on top of the one I'm using to give myself enough room to push the coin down through the die and out the bottom. Once again, it's back to wrapping. Again, be very careful at this stage to make sure that the ring is evenly wrapped. This is the funnest part of the Swedish Wrap, is pushing the ring right through the bottom of the die. It's kind of like watching a baby be born. A baby ring, that is. I love this part. I also try to do it quickly and smoothly so that the edge of the die can't leave any marks on the coin. I'm going to do it a little bit slower than I normally would here, just so you guys can see what's going on. All right, everything's lined up, and we have something peeking, and here it comes. I'm going way slower than I normally would. And we have a ring. There she is. With the Swedish Wrap, you'll get nice square walls of your coin. And it's amazing how small you can get these to be. Look how square that is. Perfect.
Okay, everybody, so that was the Swedish Wrap. Like I said, it gets you to the perfect starting point to put either a straight-walled finish or a fat tire look on your rings. There really is no substitute for the Swedish Wrap process. It takes a lot more time, but it is going to give you a better product in the end. All right, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, ask any questions or comments that you might have. And in part 4, we're going to take a look at throwing a fat tire finish on a coin ring, which should be fun. So you're not going to want to miss that. All right, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions. I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, be good.